Hello, everybody. Happy holidays. This is my original art, and this is what I'm using for my Christmas cards this year. And I thought I would just come on for a few minutes and put some of the cards together. So what I do is I scan this into my computer, and then with GIMP, I resize it. And then I put as many cards as I can get on a sheet of paper to print off. I happen to put 3 to a page, and I have printed off enough for 24 cards. And I've cut mats for them. So I've got the cards here. And mats and the card bases I've cut. This was all of the tape I had yesterday. So I did not start, even though I thought I would yesterday, but I went on and I ordered some tape. Well, I do not have Amazon Prime. I refuse to pay for it. But anyway, the tape arrived today, even though I don't have Prime. So I thought that was awesome. And so I'm going to start working on these cards. I need to point you guys down more. You don't need to see my old arting sweater. You're not here for that. Now, once they're printed off, because on my original, I had put, you can see the like glittery lights that are on the mushrooms. Well, those are made with stickles. Hang on. Stickles and pearl cotton. No. This stuff. Liquid pearls. Man, my brain's out to lunch. And then some of the stickles. And I'm trying to use what I have on hand. So that's why I'm trying not to go to any expense. The only thing I'm willing to spend money on is, things you need to put the things together, like the tape. So I'm using all the paper I've had on in my stash and so on. So for right now, I'm just going to put some onto the mats. And then I'll have to fold my card bases and put one together. Maybe I'll put one totally together with you real quick. And then if that's all you want to see, that's good. Whatever. Hi, Janet. Hi, Joyce. Hi, Peg. And of course, coming from my house, it may contain cat hair because we have a few felines here. Whoops, that's not very straight. We just went to a Goodwill and we didn't buy a thing. Just wasn't feeling it today. They didn't have anything good. I'm going to stand up. It's easier for me to stand up to make cards. So I'm just going to eyeball this. I guess I should tell you how big these cards aren't going to be very big this year. But I thought if you decide to do a card album like I am doing, these would be the perfect size to tuck in a pocket. So that was my goal. So let's see. The images I have shrunk to 3 1/4. Well, this piece is 3 1/4 by about 5 1/4. So the mats I think are 5 1/2 by 3 1/2. And then I cut the card bases. So they are 5 3/4, I think by 7 1/2. And then we will score them at, I got that written down. We'll score them at 3 3/4. So let me get my scoreboard out here. Three and 3/4. And I'll fold it in here. I don't know if I'll be able to use like a regular letter-sized envelope for these, or if I'll need to make envelopes, but I'll cross that bridge once the cards are made. And then that'll go on there, and that'll be what my Christmas card looks like. And then I'll need to find a sentiment to put on the inside. I need to get a new cutting mat, and I'm not going to do that until the floors are done, because this one is all bubbled here. It's gotten heated up too much. I need to keep this cutting table separate from the arting table so that the mats don't get messed up. So I got plenty of adhesive now. Hi, Gail. Welcome, everybody. I'm not going to stay on long because I know Beth does Saturday nights and I don't want to step on her toes, but I wanted to show how I'm putting my cards together. So if you mailed me a card last year, you will get a card definitely this year. And if you mail me a card this year and you're not already on my list, I'll just send a card. That's how that goes. And of course, the cats want to go out because I'm talking to you guys. So there's my little card, and it's very just holiday-ish, non-denominational. So I'm hoping everybody will be okay with this being the card this year. I wanted to just do something cute with one of my little gnomes that I love to draw. So that's what I'm going to do. Just put him off to the side over here. Maybe we'll just tape up, put a bunch of tape down first. Just run through and tape these pieces. And this is how I do it. It's kind of a production line. So what are you guys up to today? Scott is out in the garage all bundled up. We went to Lowe's and he got some more of those, I don't forget what they're called. They're just kind of a rough sawn paneling piece that he's putting up on the walls in the garage to kind of seal it up a little bit more. So he's out there. I don't think he's working on that. I think he's just piddling in the garage. He did go to Home Depot and he picked up another grout float so that when he gets ready to do grout, I can help him and maybe we can finish the wall grout up really quickly with the two of us spreading at the same time. Hi, Janet Nash. Hi, Pam. Hi, Goldie. Good afternoon. So these are the cards that'll be sent out this year. Hi, Beth. I'm not going to be on long, Beth. What time do you normally start on Saturdays? Is it 6 or 5:30? I just kind of wanted to show how I put cards together. And I did sign my art this time. And I put 2024 on it. Whoops. So for some reason, the cats and the dog, they all wanted me up at 2 o'clock this morning. And apparently the litter boxes just could not wait until I got up. So I changed litter boxes at 2:15 this morning. And I had fixed a big Tupperware tote, like a 25-gallon tote. I wrapped the lid in one of those emergency blankets. And then I crumpled another one in the bottom on the inside. and then I dumped some pet cedar shavings in. And then I put a blanket that was sent home with us from the hospital one time when Scott, they took me back where he was in recovery. And when he sees me, he thinks it's time to go. So he just ripped his IV out and created a bloody mess, literally. So they just said the towels would have to come home with us. I'm sure we paid for them. I put one of those in there, and it has a hole in it. And then I taped the lid down on the top. Well, I took the bag of used litter out to put it in the trash can, and all these little heads came popping out of that tote, the hole that we had cut in the tote. And all the little black cats were inside there keeping warm last night. So I was glad that I did that for the outdoor kitties. I need to do a couple more and just, put them around in the bushes where the neighbors can't see, so that any animal that doesn't have a home can have someplace semi-warm to get into. Because those inexpensive reflective blankets, they reflect the heat back on. So they were all toasty together inside that tub last night. I just thought I got a giggle out of them. And then I was wide awake after going outside at 2:30 this morning. And I turned the YouTube on my phone, and Mary was still going. So I watched Mary for a while, and I was talking to Randy Rabbit, and we were just chit-chatting, and Mary was so far behind on chat. She was talking to Beth, and Randy and I were like, I don't see Beth. And then I looked, and Beth had gone about an hour before that and said goodnight. And poor Mary, she didn't know that Beth was gone. And Randy and I were like, well, she's in her zone. She's not going to see us. And I had made myself a cup of sleepy time tea, and that started to work. So I said, well, I'm going to head off to bed. She'll see that we were here eventually. And and then I slept for a good while after that till the alarm went off, because Greg had to work today, and I, being a good mom that I am, I told him I would set an alarm just to make sure he was up and going. Well, he was already up and in the shower when I woke up. He had to be there at 7:00 this morning. Yes. Yeah. 6:00. Okay. Well, I'll be off here before then. I mainly wanted to get tape put on these, and then I'll put them together like that. And then I need to see, let me go grab some of those, just a letter-sized envelope. I don't know if these are going to fit in that. I'm trying to use what I have on hand. I'll be right back. And Scott hates regular letter-sized envelopes, so I'm trying to use these up. I don't know that these are going to fit. Let me see. Nope, not quite. I'm afraid that adhesive would ruin the card. Yeah, I'll have to do something else for an envelope, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll get these used up eventually. So, who's doing what for your Thanksgiving? We're going to just have a quiet, small, the three of us plus maybe Greg's friend Mary on Thanksgiving. And I'm going to do the Thanksgiving meal that my grandmother used to make, minus one or two things, because I'm replacing them with things that Greg loves, my son, like broccoli casserole. So I'm going to make that. But I'm going to have homemade rolls, and I'm going to make oyster dressing, which I haven't had in years, hoping I can find oysters that don't cost a fortune. Now, see, I like oysters in dressing. I don't like oyster stew. I don't know. And turkey. And pumpkin pie. Mashed potatoes and gravy, because that's what we always had on the farm, was mashed potatoes. Down here, it's macaroni and cheese. See if I get all this tape spread on all of these, then I can just sit and put these down. Stop digging the wall, Howard. Howard. That infuriates Scott. They've got that one piece of molding all torn up. And I give them scratching things and everything. They're so naughty. You've never heard of oyster stuffing? You chop the oysters up into really small pieces. And it's got breadcrumbs, which I'm going to make homemade bread and then cut it in cubes and dry it in the oven myself. So there'll be homemade bread cubes for the dried bread. And it's got milk and eggs and a bunch of different seasonings and celery, which I've made my list up that I've got to go shopping for on Tuesday. I don't need any help. Tippy, go away. Let me let them out on the porch, and that'll be one less thing. You want to go too? This might be a good thing. You boys, go out on the porch. Yeah, the neighbors are having a party. Go listen. They got music playing and everything. They're having a big time. I don't know what the party's about, but they're having a big time. A couple houses up. I think it's the people that live next door to the Mexican family that has the chickens that I enjoy listening to. I've been tempted to go up and thank them for having chickens, because I get to hear them in that little rumbly cluck that they do when they're, just chatting in the morning to start their day. Hi, Teresa. Teresa says she'll probably be streaming Thursday night because the kids want to put the tree up and decorate. Oh, that sounds like fun. I'm thinking I'm going to just pull out the wreath that goes on the fireplace behind me, and I'm going to get my card banner out, and I'll put that on the fireplace. And then that's going to be the extent. I would pull my Santas out, but I just don't know when they're going to be able to start on the floors, because they're waiting on us to get the funds to do it. And now we're thinking maybe we should try to file a claim with the insurance and see if the homeowner's insurance would cut some of this cost. We've been paying for years on the insurance. You'd think they'd cover for this sort of damage, but I think that's what we're going to do when Scott comes in from the garage, is go on to the insurance website and file a claim. It's like my sister said, Robin, she said, what's the worst they could tell you? No, we're not going to cover that. Which she's right. It can't hurt to try. And we need to check and see if we still have full coverage on the truck, because a couple months back, I was out on I-77 and a semi truck passed me and kicked up a rock, and there's a pretty good, like that big ding in the windshield. And Scott would like to get that fixed if we still have full coverage. And once it's fixed, we're going to drop the coverage down to just basic coverage, because the truck leaves the driveway about once or twice a month, if that, because I just don't go anywhere unless it's over to Joann's or the grocery store, which is really less than 5 miles. So the truck is really driven less than 10 miles a day. And I think that would decrease the cost of the insurance for us, since we just bought that new car this year. So that boosted the insurance cost. You know what? Looks like I almost could have made all 24 of these cards with the tape I had. But I was I opened my email and it said, Amazon says, are you happy with your delivery or your order? And I'm like, what? I just ordered it yesterday and I don't have Prime, but it was sitting out there on the little table we have for deliveries on the front porch. Oh, see, that's not sticky. I almost made it to the end. I'm going to set those aside. And I'm not going to sit here and make you guys watch me, put all the cards together because I have to score all of them and all of that. It has to be sudden and accidental, not long-term damage. The worst is they put it down that you have damaged, and then they will want to make sure you get it fixed ASAP. Well, that's what I'm afraid of, but I don't know. I don't know. Howard's wanting back in now. Yeah, it's going to be ASAP as soon as we get the money. I don't have, that sort of money just laying around. Scott's got a retirement account that the company that he had worked for doesn't want to maintain it anymore. They want everybody to take a payout. So we said, okay, we will. And then that will give us the funds to fix the house. So that's the plan. It'll be like within the next month or so. It is dry rot from the condensation from the HVAC. What is it called? The vent systems. It's a moisture damage. So we have dry rot. And they got to rip up our floors in 4 rooms in the hallway, all the way to the dirt. And they're going to replace some joist, and the subflooring will be replaced. But then it'll be up to Scott and I to do the floor coverings, which we're thinking, rolled linoleum for the kitchen. And in here, we've got more of the floor covering that's in here, so we can, and we've done this before. We did this floor, so this could be easily done. We have everything except maybe the fiber that you have to put down under it. But then the front room, Scott found a product by Bruce that's pre-finished hardwood floors. So instead of putting hardwood floors down and then having to finish them with all the sanding and stuff, you would just be done. Once you put it down, it would be done. Looking at that. Well, that's good to know, Gail. That's good. Thank you for letting me know. We'll have to look at our coverage and see what it says. That's what I kind of thought myself, is it's just a ongoing issue that caused damage. It's not like the kid ran the bathtub over, that kind of thing. But if you live in an area where the hurricane just recently came through, you could get your roof done and say it was hurricane damage. Or you noticed the damage because of the hurricane, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. And I think it does vary state to state and company to company too. And so what they're going to do all that work for the subflooring, then we'll do the floor finishes, but they are also going to do a vapor barrier under the house and install a dehumidifier under the house to keep the moisture levels down. We had at one time the driest lot in the neighborhood, but with the change in the temperature and more days where the air conditioner would run constantly trying to cool us off, it created more condensation, which leads to dry rot. So don't keep your houses too cool in the summer or you'll pay. You'll pay in the long run. Put a fan on. You're probably safer that way than decreasing the temperature. Oh, your roofer did the roof wrong. Oh, no. That's a Better Business Bureau thing, I would think. Now Tippy wants in, of course. All right, guys. I'm going to let you guys go. And I will sit here kind of hoping to get my cards and envelopes ready to go so that I can mail the day after Thanksgiving. So everybody should get that sent cards last year should get a card from me the very first part of December. All right, I've got just a few more to go here. That really sucks when they don't do a good job. We got lucky. I used the roofer that my sister had used because my sister was so pleased with the work they did. And they did the roof on the house as well as the garage several years back. So my roof is not very old. Tippy, hang on just a minute, honey. I want to finish getting these down. All right, Peg, thanks for being here. Oh, that's a bummer. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Tippy wants in. So you can see I've got a good start on these. I'm not sure what I'll do about envelopes. I might pull out a Christmas paper pad and figure out the measurements to do a card using the formula on this little doohickey that's in the back of the scoreboard. And I might make envelopes. So everybody might get a very Christmassy envelope with one of these cards in it. All right. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll pop into Beth's for a little bit. And I'll see you guys later. Thank you.